today's video is just going to be tapping on books, the books I've checked out from the library, some gripping, and just book sounds. This is Revolutionary Road, which is what I'm currently reading, and it's definitely interesting. My collar is weird, but I haven't filmed in a while because I've been really sick. You can kind of hear it in my voice, that like half sick, still getting over it type voice. It's also been outrageously hot here, making it pretty much impossible to film during the day because I don't have air conditioning in here, and if I did, it would have been way too loud. But I had these two fans, and even then I was constantly sweaty because it was just like 100 degrees every day. But I have quite a few books checked out from the library. This is The Scent of Burnt Flowers. And I apologize for the background noise. I do have one window open. It's not the bigger window, so it shouldn't be as loud as if that were open. But if I closed all the windows, it would be extremely hot in here. But the heat finally broke. After like 2 weeks of crazy high temperatures, like it had not been below 78 at night for like 2 weeks. And it was crazy. It was so hot. And I love the heat, but only for a certain period of time. Not when it's constant like that. And then the next book I have is Dress Code: Unlocking Fashion from the New Look to Millennial Pink. And this is a nonfiction book about, I believe it's just women's fashion history, more specifically. But it's a fairly short little book. I have a lot of nonfiction today. I really like nonfiction, and I read a lot of it. I broke 2 of my nails because they got really long. And I've always had really brittle nails, but they seem to be doing a lot better than they used to. And then I have The Hot Zone, which is also nonfiction. This is about the Ebola virus, which is not very relaxing to think about, but I hear a lot of really good things about this book. Most commonly that it is the scariest book people have ever read, which is really saying something because it's nonfiction. And then I have Slouching Towards Bethlehem, which again is nonfiction. It's an essay collection kind of about, I guess, the 60s is the best way to concisely describe it. But I was doing a lot of reading when I was sick because I couldn't really do much else. And I've been reading a lot of really good books this summer, but I've mostly been reading fiction, and I just miss reading nonfiction, so I checked out a bunch of nonfiction books the other day. A lot of these books being books that I've been wanting to read for a while. Move on to the next book. This is a newer one. This is Paradise Falls. The true story of an environmental catastrophe. Again, nonfiction. But a friend of mine read this book and she said it was really worth reading. And it covers a subject I find interesting. Basically about, as far as I know, a chemical spill and its effect on the environment. This book doesn't make, I think it's too new to make like really good rubbing sounds. So it's just more like very slow gripping. But I'm going to film, probably not today, but in the future, a video with my favorite makeup products. It's like tapping and scratching on them. And all the sounds that come with makeup, lid sounds, stuff like that. I'm either going to do that or more like maybe not my entire makeup collection because I have quite a few products, but a lot of my makeup collection. I said I was going to move or be moving soon, and that's still true. It's just going a lot more slowly than I originally thought it would. But I figure that when I'm going through my stuff and packing, I could do some videos that tie in with that. I always found moving videos very, like, interesting and relaxing and just kind of satisfying, like watching people organize their stuff to move. I love organizing. This book is called Elsewhere. This is a fiction book. But I really like, you can't really tell because of there's no way to get around that. I really like the cover of this book. I think it's a really pretty cover. Very bright colors, and it reminds me of like Midsummer, or what is that movie called that was remade? The Wicker Man. Just kind of has that vibe, and I think that's sort of similar to the plot, kind of. I put a lot of new books on hold, and then they come in, and sometimes I forget the exact plot of them, but I just know that, like, at some point I really wanted to read it enough to put it on hold. And this book is obviously very new. So the plastic sleeve, plastic cover has a lot of crisp sounds. I apologize if I keep clearing my throat. It's just, I'm getting over being sick, and it really sucks to be sick in the summer, especially when it's a heat wave. It just feels really unnatural to be sick in the summer, because normally you get sick or you get a cold, which is what I ended up having, not the worst alternative. It was just a bad cold that's been going around. You just normally get that in like the fall and the winter. Next is a book I'm very, very, very excited to read. This is The Displacements. And I'm excited to read this because it's a fiction book. But it's about a Category 6 hurricane. And I've always found weather and hurricanes, storms, natural disasters, whatever, like I find that stuff extremely interesting. So I'm really hoping this book is good, but I'm just really excited to read it. It looks good. I like the cover too. It's very like dark and stormy. Set in Miami. And this is a very new book. I think it just came out. Then I have something a little bit different. This is a graphic novel. The Django Unchained graphic novel. So it follows the plot of the film. Kind of hard to like hold it up because it's so wide, but I am a big fan of graphic novels. I don't read them a ton. It's hard to get a lot of them from the library. They just don't have them, even though I use the whole state's interlibrary loan system. But I thought this would be interesting because I like the film. And then we have The Seamstress of New Orleans, another newer book. And this is fiction. Let me adjust the way I'm sitting. I normally cut my hair in the summer. I usually cut it to like right here, and this summer I did not, because I wanted to have long hair in the fall. My hair's up right now, but I've been regretting that decision for the bulk of the summer because it's been so hot. This book sounds very crisp and sticky. We're actually at the last book. I don't have as many checked out as usual because I don't think it's a good idea to have tons and tons of books checked out at once. Especially because there have been times where I've been super busy this summer with other stuff going on. But this is The Corrections by Jonathan Franzen. And I read his book Crossroads when it came out last year, like right after it came out, and it was great. Like, I love that book. And so I wanted to try and read some of his other older works. I mean, this book isn't like super old or anything, but just his previous works. And I know this book has very mixed reviews, but I really liked his style of writing in Crossroads, and it was about, was it the same length? No, I think Crossroads was longer. It's like 600 or 700 pages, and this book's like 500 pages, but I really liked how long it was, because I didn't really want to stop reading it. It was just so interesting. And this is fiction, obviously. Maybe not obviously, I don't know. But I'm gonna end this video here because it's getting very hot in here and I'm getting very oily. But I hope that you liked this video. I like doing these book videos, and I hope that I can film more often now that I'm not sick, and that it seems like it's going to be not hundreds of degrees every day, so the conditions will be more tolerable in here, even if it is kind of hot right now. It's much better than it was. It's like refreshing in comparison. But anyway, I hope that you liked this video, and if you have any suggestions for future videos, please let me know in